Welcome to the stream, gang. We back. I know how Nolan Wells died, and I'm breaking my silence. Let's get this thing situated. Let me set my live chat to members only. Do what I gotta do. Where we at? Set this up. As you enter the building, be sure to hit the like button. Imagine I did a whole 6-hour live stream, guys. I went to the park, worked out, did a video in the park. I'll have that uploaded later. I ain't get no sleep, but I'm back at work. And now I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened to Nolan Wells. Put it all together, and it's making sense now on what happened. Give me a minute. Let me sort this first. Make sure I can see the live chat on my laptop. And we're going to get to the content. Do what we got to do. Okay. So, how Nolan Wells died. I'm glad you asked that question. Everybody want to know. Okay. So this is what happened. Nolan Wells died on a boat, and he was thrown over. Something happened at sea. And based on all my investigation in regards to this case, Nolan did not die on Horn Island. No, that did not happen. You don't die on the island and then your body wash up on the shore. That's not how it goes. An audio tape was released. I didn't listen to that tape yet. We're going to review that later. I'm basing this off of everything that I've covered thus far, including last night's 6-hour plus live stream. Nolan Wells died on, yeah, I'm back, bro. I'm back. I did a video at the park, did my workout, and I put a timestamp on that video that I did in the park, because some of y'all probably like, you didn't go to the park to work out, not after a 6-hour live stream. Yes, I did. When I upload that video, you're going to see me point the phone to my GoPro, and you're going to see the date, time, and stamp. You're going to be like, oh, snap, he really did go to the park to work out. I don't be playing around, fam. So, Nolan Wells died on a boat. He was on a boat. He died. However he died had to involve either alcohol, some sort of alcohol poisoning, perhaps some sort of drugs, something. Something happened on a boat. He died on the boat. Whoever was on that boat knew that they couldn't keep the body there. If they report it, they're all going down. If he have drugs in his system, everybody on that boat is getting charged. Something of that nature happened. They threw him overboard. That's what happened. That is how Nolan Wells died. His death is being covered up. Now, I'm not pointing it to Nolan's friends just yet. And the reason being is I don't just want to accuse his friends. Now, last night live stream, if you guys missed it, you missed a heck of a stream, because I was streaming for like 6+ hours. I didn't even know I was on that long. And I broke down part 2, 3, and 4 of Officer Tatum's video. That the last 2, part 3 and 4, man, there was a lot that was said by Nolan's friend that really, it messed me up, because I'm shocked that even Officer Tatum couldn't see the things that I was seeing. And it almost looked like he's working with Nolan's friend, because, all right, he asked Nolan's friend, why did you choose to work with me in terms of doing this interview? Like, he's the only one that he did an interview with. He said, because you sided with us. Well, guys, once you have a YouTuber that sides with Nolan's friends automatically, meaning there's no guilt, there's no questions, there's no nothing, that's no longer an interview. That's a conflict of interest. You already favor them. That's the equivalent of you're doing jury duty and you already decided that you think I'm guilty. So I'm not getting a fair trial. So if you're a content creator and you do an interview with anybody and you already sided with them, any interview you do, it's partial in judgment. So there's bias. So you really can't take it serious. So even though I give Officer Tatum credit for pretty much going out to Mississippi to get the information from the guys, I'm not saying they're all liars. That's not what I'm saying, guys. What I'm saying is, if you view part 3 and part 4 with a critical ear to listen, there's some things that were said, man, that will mess you up. It will mess your mind up, because you'll be like, whoa. When I heard the friends say that, yeah, we deleted our social medias, we lawyered up, red flag, man. Red flag. When I first heard those rumors that, oh, yeah, the friends, yeah, they deleted their social medias, they lawyered up, I was like, man, that's bull crap. That's just a bunch of gossip, man. These YouTubers, they just gossip. But I heard it from the horse's mouth. So it's not gossip. This is facts. So these kids, parents and all of them, went and retained attorneys and made them delete their social medias. It's one thing to disable your social media. It's one thing to put it on private or just go in incognito mode for a time. But to delete your social media, you hiding something. It could have been a lot of voice notes, meaning them guys could have been sending voice notes back and forth, and they want all that stuff deleted. There could have been photos, things sent, information. They want it all deleted. Why would you delete? Why? Why would you delete your social medias if you're innocent? Why would you need an attorney if you're innocent? If you guys left Horn Island and you said that Nolan stayed with a girl, why would you delete your social medias and get an attorney for? That don't make sense. That's a red flag, right? Somebody's lying, because they said that they left Nolan and they kept stressing. Now, this is the thing that gets me. When I do my investigations, right, I need y'all to pay attention. They kept stressing that, well, we told Nolan, come on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Nolan, yo. And then he said somebody told Nolan, get on the effing boat. Why would they be speaking to Nolan like that? Get on the effing boat? What about everybody else? So for Nolan, it's get on the effing boat, but for everybody else, they're on the boat. That makes sense? They want to drive in our mind that they were trying to get him on the boat. But I don't think that even happened. I don't think that happened. You know why? Because they told us that he was with this girl. But when you think about it, that's a lie too. That's a lie. Until further notice, until we get a full-blown interview with the girl, I don't believe that. I don't believe Nolan was with a girl. I don't believe it. Because the friend of Nolan said that they asked the girl, when was the last time you seen Nolan? She said, when they told him get on the effing boat. If that was her last time seeing him, then she wasn't with him because Nolan never got on the boat. But he said that Nolan was cradling the girl, like holding her like this in his arms, but in the water. So like she's floating in the water, he holding her like a baby. That don't make sense, guys. I don't think Nolan was with any girl. I think that's a lie. Nolan died on a boat. Now, was it the friend's boat or was it somebody else's boat? Nolan died on a boat. There was a boat. He died on a boat because the body, based on the waves, if you look at the island, the waves is pushing right back to the island. So he didn't die on the island. How could he die on the island? And then, watch this. Watch this. Guys, Nolan's body was dumped in the water away from Horn Island. They didn't dump his body at the island. It was away from the island. That body moved from wherever they dumped it all the way back to the island. You know why? Because there was already people there. They would have saw it. They would have saw the body. Somebody would have saw something. That's why we can't get nothing. That's why everybody's like, yo, how nobody seen nothing? How is it that thousands of people were there, nobody ain't seen nothing? I believe the story was made up. I really do believe the story was made up. Something happened out at that sea, because here's the thing, guys. If you're a real sailor, if you have any experience sailing a boat, you're supposed to understand safety protocols, standard procedures, what to prevent in terms of certain things happening. For example, Nolan's friend said that the boat was sinking, that there was over 6 inches of water in the boat. That's a lot of weight. 6 inches of water in a boat that's like 20 feet in length. Nah, fam. That's a lot of weight. So that boat is going down. Do you understand? You do the math of 6 inches of water, 20-foot boat. You look at the length, width. That's a lot of weight. That's the equivalent of probably 10 or 15 people on the boat. So that boat going to start to sink. But here's the question. How did it get there? How did all that water accumulate in that boat and nobody thought about, we need to get this water off this boat? So was the boat sinking just to sink? Or was something going on that boat in terms of some sort of struggle, or something had to be going down? Because if I'm a sailor, I'm not going to let my boat get to the point where it's flooding. My eye is going to be watching for all these dangers because I'm responsible for all these passengers that are on this boat. It's safety, proper protocol. All the equipment must work. And when you're on a boat, you need some sort of assistance. It just can't be you as a captain. You got to have other people looking out for stuff too, because we got to get back home safe. Something happened on a boat. If Nolan didn't die on the boat with the friends, he died on somebody's boat. Nolan did not die on the island. That is a guarantee. He did not die on no island, fam. You put all the clues together, all the stories, everything that we heard, even the lies that we heard. He did not die at the island. He wasn't with no girl. I don't believe that, man. We need another interview. We need to see an interview with the woman that he was with, because she said the last time she seen him or heard from him was when they told him get on the effing boat. Well, that's when they were leaving. So if that's her last time seeing him, then she wasn't with him. She wasn't with him. You said there's a photo going around with Nolan leg hanging. That's fake. Don't believe that. That's fake. You got to always ask yourself the question, why is it that these photos are always blurry? We're in 2026, right? We're in 2026 and we seeing blurry photos on the internet. This stuff is fake. You can't say that's Nolan's leg without seeing a whole body and his face. Anything that you're seeing in terms of photos on social media, they're all fake. Don't frequent those grifter channels. I'm trying to focus on what makes sense. Nolan did not die on an island, because if you look at the timeline of events, when those guys left, I'm trying to figure out why they left so early. That right there is another, it's just not sitting right with me, fam. They left kind of early. It's almost like an alibi that they're trying to create. Like, look, we left early. We left him there. We don't got nothing to do with it. Then another thing that really messed me up, and y'all saw last night, I was flipping. The friend said that he called the mother. They called the mother, Christine, and he asked Christine, "Did you hear from Nolan?" Why would you contact the mother to ask her if she heard from Nolan? And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, he says when she said no, he was like, "All right, don't freak out. I'm gonna contact the Coast Guard." It wasn't even 12 hours, fam. Why would you want to call the Coast Guard if you said that Nolan was with a girl? If Nolan was at the island getting it in, why would you call the Coast Guard to mess up his play? Why would you make it seem like, and here's another thing. When he told the mom that, he told her, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. And then when Officer Tatum was like, so, like, why? But, like, why? Like, why did you even want to go call that? He said, well, because things happen, people die, and, that's like, bad things can happen. And I'm saying to myself, bro, whoa, you talking too much, man. Too early. Because I never heard him talk like that before. See, in video part 1 and part 2, that was cool. But once we got to video part 3 and part 4, nah, man. Something is very fishy about the whole situation, man. I don't like that, fam. Why would you want to call the Coast Guard and it haven't even been 12 hours? I mean, 24 hours. We know 24 hours. But you calling Coast Guard as if though he's missing or dead. Why would you feel that way if you said the island was packed with people? Why would you say people can die, and Why would you think like that? Why would you say that if he was in good company? I mean, you knew he was with a girl, right? So why would he be dead if you knew he was with a girl? Why would you be worried about Nolan if you know he was in the company of a female and possibly was probably at her crib getting it in? But he told the mom, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. Why? It's too early. So it's almost like he's panicking. Because if he know his man's in them is with a chick, then he most likely doing his thing. And he gonna probably call up his partner later on, like, yo, bro, let me get that phone and keys, bro. I just came back from Shorty crib. I'm gonna pull up. But no, he was more focused on trying to make the mom not freak out. But I think what it really boils down to is something happened. Something happened. And that kid died, I think, by drugs. Overdose, man. That's why they didn't give us the first autopsy, y'all. Put it together. Put the play together. Crump and them gave us a bogus autopsy with no information. It just makes more questions. The first autopsy they didn't even release. We don't even got the toxicology test. So what's really going on? The reason why is because these tests is going to show Nolan either had drugs in his system, definitely alcohol. So these tests might prove that Nolan died of some sort of overdose, alcohol poisoning, something. And I believe that they dumped his body over the water. Or, watch this. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he was on the boat that was sinking. Could it have been that the boat was crowded, had some sort of issues, and they decided to kick him off the boat? I'm just saying. That's one scenario. Because I didn't listen to the audio yet. I'm going to listen to that audio. And I'm going to listen to it critically and give my full breakdown of that audio. Because I'm hearing a lot of rumors. I don't really focus on all that garbage. I got to hear it for myself and use my own discernment and judgment. But the more I listen to this case, man, the more I'm realizing that these kids are talking too much. As much as I'm grateful that Officer Tatum did the interview with Nolan's friends, I think we needed to hear this. I feel that the interviews that Officer Tatum did may end up biting those very same friends because of certain key things that was said that just don't align right. It's not looking right, fam. Now, of course, the mama lied. Nolan's mother been lying the whole time, man. She been lying. That 6-hour live stream, we exposed all those lies. They lied about that cell phone. They lied that these young men, they took the phone and ran with it. No, he literally communicated with the mom, but they omitted all that information from the media, so it made it look like these friends were hiding something from the beginning. But the thing that's bugging me is they went and lawyered up immediately and deleted their social medias, bro. That's a red flag, bro. That's a major flagrant foul. I'm not deleting my social media if I'm innocent. I'm not going to get an attorney when I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. But for all of them to do the same thing, all of them went and got attorneys, all of them deleted their social medias, nah, bro, something ain't right, man. Y'all don't all do the same thing unless y'all all agreed. Bro, delete your social medias, all of y'all. Just delete it, delete it. I don't want them to know nothing. Delete it. I'm gonna get me an attorney. I'm gonna talk to my mom. Bro, that don't happen at the same time. Now, if one of them deleted their social medias and got an attorney, one, and the others just kind of just went with the flow, that's one thing. But if all of them did the same thing, we got a red flag, man. Something happened at sea. And I believe that Nolan's body was dumped over because, all right, when they got the body, there was no lacerations, there was no wounds, there was no signs of him being beaten. So what that points to, in my opinion, possible overdose, drugs. I don't trust Nolan's mom. They're not going to tell you all the details. We don't know what that kid was into, man. We don't know. We know his buddies were drinking. We know people were drunk. People were driving boats drunk. You see what I'm saying? So anything could have happened out there. But the more I look at this, I'm seeing Nolan on a boat dead. He died. He was slumped over like this. Yo, Nolan. 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 What? Yo, he don't got no pulse, bro. What? He don't got no pulse? What the hell? Yo, he don't got... Oh, man, bro. Yo, what the heck? He don't got no pulse, bro. Yo, we cooked, bro. Nah, well, we gotta figure this out, guys. Calm down, man. Y'all stop calm. Yo, it's you. You gave him the drug. You did it, man. I didn't do nothing. You did it. Are you seeing it? Could that be why the boat filled up with water? Could that be why the boat filled up with water? There was a commotion after realizing Nolan is dead due to an overdose. And there was this big disturbance of what the heck are we going to do? We can't go back to the island like this with him dead. We're going to be cooked. Drugs in his system, alcohol, we're done. Or we could just throw the body overboard. Bro, that's Nolan, though. Bro, if we don't do this together, man, we're done. Our futures are gone. Let's just agree to throw him over the board. Let's just do it. We'll say that he was with a girl. We could use that as an alibi. And nobody won't know. We can't do this, guys. We can't report this. If we report this that he's dead, bro, do you know what's gonna happen to us? They're gonna question us. They're gonna be like, what the heck happened? But if we could just get rid of his body, bro, nobody ain't gonna know. Because I believe they already left with Nolan. I believe they already left with him. And then he died while on that boat. Doesn't mean that somebody killed him. I don't believe that anybody killed him. I don't believe that. 4th of July celebration, you might have a couple of fights, a couple of disputes, but to kill somebody, I don't think that happened. I think that they were high, smoking, drinking, partying heavy. Nolan took something and it didn't agree with his system, man. It happens. A lot of people OD'd like that, man. I think that's what happened, gang. I think that's what happened. He died on a boat and somebody pushed him over and they agreed. Now, was it Nolan's friends or was it on another boat? I don't want to just come out accusing Nolan's friends. I don't like doing that type of stuff. That's not how I do my work. I need more evidence, more proof. Now, there are red flags. There are a lot of red flags, a lot of unanswered questions. At the same time, the way we do our reporting, we don't just throw somebody under the bus. We don't do that type of stuff. You know, and salute to everybody coming in, guys. Let me work. Let me work, guys. Just come in, have your conversations in the chat. Let me just do my thing and so I can think. We have to really put this together. We know he died on a boat. He did not die on the island. I don't want to believe none of that. That's a lie. That is a lie. It was too much people on the island, too much people over there. When his friends left, people were still there. So he didn't die on no island. That's a lie. I don't believe that he was hanging with any girl. I don't think he was with a girl. I think that's a story they made up to make it look, to separate themselves from Nolan. Oh, he was with a girl. We asked him to leave, but that don't sound natural. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that narrative, guys. It don't sound natural. Think about how perfect that sounds. We were leaving. We were telling him, come with us. Nolan, come on, man. Get in the effing boat, bro. Nah, I'm chilling with Shorty. That's the perfect alibi, right? That'll separate his friends from Nolan. We don't got no fault because Nolan was with the girl. But how do we know that's true? Was that girl brought in for questioning by law enforcement? I don't know. Did anybody run a lie detector test or some sort of test to polygraph? Like, what exactly was done in this situation? Because I don't believe Nolan was with that girl. I don't believe it. I don't believe none of those stories. Look, guys, I'm going to say this. Don't get mad. Don't get mad at me, man. But I see a lot of these little video clips posted up with Nolan. I'm going to be honest. Nolan looks kind of fruity. Maybe I'm the only one that's bold enough to just say straight. I don't see that dude macking. I don't see that dude doing none of that. And why is it that he got the girls and all the friends don't? Y'all not putting this together? So all the white buddies, they don't got no girls. But Nolan got the girl. Nolan got the white girl in his arm, cradling her. There's no photos, no videos, none of this. But all his white buddies, they don't got no girls with them? Put it together, man. Nolan wasn't with no girl, bro. I'm looking at all these little photos like Crump. Crump posted something on his page, right? And I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm looking at Nolan. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not buying this mess, bro. This dude was not bagging none of these chicks. This dude doing all these weirdo dances and all this weirdo stuff. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not buying that mess, bro. That dude was not macking with no chicks, bro. Nah. They made that story up, bro. Don't get mad at me. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm looking at body language, you know? Now, Charleston White, he went over the top. He was saying that them dudes were sexually intimate with this kid. But then again, I don't know. I don't know, fam. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying. I find it rather strange that out of all these dudes, they're talking about Nolan with a girl, but they don't got no girl. So them dudes was just at the Horn Island and wasn't bagging chicks themselves. Come on now. So Nolan was the Mac Daddy at the island with all the ladies, but all them other dudes don't got no women to show? Come on, man. Put it together, man. That's an alibi. They saying that to distance themselves from Nolan, man. Something happened on a boat. Something happened. Oh, here's another one. Are you ready for this one? Put a 1. in the chat if you're ready for the bombshell. Put a 1 in the chat if you are ready for the bomb. When their boat was sinking, they were nowhere near Horn Island. They weren't near Horn Island. If their boat was sinking and you had all those other people out there with boats, they would have got all sorts of help. All sorts of help from more experienced sailors. They would have all band together and they would have been able to solve all their boat issues. They were not near that island. They were not near Horn Island when they had trouble and they made that call claiming that, oh, we sinking, blah, blah, blah. They were nowhere near. They were nowhere near Horn Island. They were away. Do you understand? Watch this. Why would they tell Nolan, get on the effing boat if the boat's sinking? Does that make sense? Do it make sense to tell Nolan, get on the effing boat when we sinking? That don't make sense, man. Something ain't right, man. They were not near that island when the boat was sinking. If they were, all the other boats would have been notified. They'd have been like, yo, we need help. Hey, everybody. And they would have all came to the rescue. Because remember, they needed to be towed. So if all those other boats were right there by Horn Island and they sinking, why would they need some other boat to come to tow them? They would have had all these boats that's there helping them. They could have got the help. So they were not near the island, fam. So any commotion or anything that happened on that boat was deep out in sea, where it's deep, nowhere near the island. Nolan did not die at that island. His body floated back to that damn island. He wasn't at that island. I don't believe it. I don't believe that, man. I'm putting the story together. He died on a boat, and I believe that when that toxicology exam come back, the test, it's going to say that he had drugs or some alcohol. He got high doses of alcohol. He could have been poisoned, man. He could have been poisoned. Something happened to him, fam. So don't believe anything. Oh, he was on the island. The Klan got him. They hung him on a tree. All of these lies that these YouTubers talking about, I don't believe none of that BS. That man OD'd on some drugs, some alcohol, something put that kid to death. I don't believe that somebody deliberately killed him. I believe that he died by overdose, drugs, alcohol, some sort of substance messed him up. Once this happened, it was in the care of his friends or some other party. And they panicked and they said, we cannot have this here, man. This kid is dead. If we call the police, we're done. We're all going to jail. Let's just dump the body over, man. Damn, man. Dump the bodies over. When you get home, delete your social medias. Get an attorney just in case. Because they're going to be talking, man. They're going to be pointing their fingers at us no matter what. But as long as we stick to this story, we good. We'll just say that he was with a girl. We'll make it clear that, we tried to warn him to come on the boat, but he didn't want to go. So that clears our name. Can we agree? Can we agree? Yeah. We can agree. All right. Don't F this up, y'all. Don't make a mistake, man. Remember, he stayed back with the girl. Always remember that. You understand? Yeah, I got it. I believe that's what happened. I believe that Nolan Wells died on the boat and they panicked. They did not want to call any law enforcement. Now think about this. With the so-called 911 call or whatever call they called, I heard a little piece where I think a woman asked, "Do you want us to send the Coast Guard?" And they said no. What? If you sinking, why wouldn't you not want them? Because you know that if they come out, they're going to investigate and possibly find out more details. So it's just a lot of red flags, man. And to think, I ain't get no sleep, gang. None. I did a whole 6-hour show, finished my show, went to the park to work out, got my workout in, then did another video while at the park. I'm going to upload that later on. I'm going to set it in the editing software so it can export, and I'm going to go get some sleep, bro. And then I come back home. I didn't even eat. You know, all I had was vegetable juice. I drank a whole bottle of V8, and that pretty much gave me a boost of energy and whatnot. And then I said, you know what? Let me come in and do this video because it's like this is on my mind fresh. And I'm like, yo, I got to get this out quick, man. Quick. He did not die at Horn Island. He died on a boat, and somebody put him in the water, and they're covering it up. They dumped that body, y'all. Because here's the thing. You know, when you got love for somebody and they die, you shed a tear. Naturally. When you got love for somebody. If you got love for family members and you were really close with them and they pass away, you'll shed a tear. Something happens, right? At no point during that interview did I see Nolan's friend show any sort of emotion of a friend that was a brother. Something in you would become emotional during that interview. Whether your eyes water up, something will happen if somebody meant something to you, because he kept glazing that, oh, Nolan was like a brother, best guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody likes him. He's the life of the party. He spoke so many good things about Nolan, but if this was your friend, the way you saying, man, and he died, like, you ain't showing nothing. And then here's another fun fact. I was under the impression that the mother didn't invite his buddies to the funeral because she feels some type of way about them. But then on the video, Nolan's friend said the reason why he didn't go to the funeral, not because Nolan's mother rejected them or said they're not invited. No. He said he didn't go because of safety reasons. Because people were making death threats and various other stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, bro, if this is my best friend, I'm going to that funeral, dog. I don't care about no damn death threats and all this other goofy stuff. I'm going to go pay my respects. Because if anybody put any hands on Nolan's friends, that's going to be big headline news. You know? Big news. And if something happened to him at the event where the funeral is, that's going to cost Christine and them money. Medical bills and various other things, compensation. Nah, they ain't going to want that type of drama. I would have went to that funeral if me and Nolan Wells was really cool the way his friend explained it. But he said he didn't go because of X, Y, and Z. So what about all you guys? So all y'all didn't go because of the same reason? See, that's where I have a problem, man. Because y'all could have all went down there together. Y'all could have all went down there as one big group. Remember, there's safety in numbers. So to make an excuse of, well, I didn't go because I felt that, you know, I had death threats. People don't like me. Fam, if they see you go to the funeral straight up like a man, they're going to know, hey, dude got balls. They came out here knowing the circumstances and they still came out. Yeah, they his dogs. They friends, bro. They real friends, because only a friend is going to come out and show his respect despite um any sort of fears or threats. Because a lot of times people make threats on social media. That's all it is. Social media. A lot of these people, if they were to see you face to face, they wouldn't even be doing any of the stuff they do on social media. You know what I'm saying? Social media give people balls, you know? But I don't know why Officer Tatum let this stuff go out into the air. I don't know if he really rocking with those friends of Nolan, or he just did it for the money, you know? Because there's a lot of money to be made doing those kind of interviews. But something ain't right about this, man. So, moving forward, guys, I'm telling you, Nolan Wells died on a boat. He did not die on that island. He did not die by just sitting in the water, even though let's just say my second thoughts is that he probably died in the water, but it's unlikely. I feel he died on the boat, guys. The boat. That's where he died, man. He died on that boat. And that's something that a lot of people ain't picking up on, man. Let me shout out this super chat real fast, guys. Shout out to Ghost Introvert for the 5, says, finally tell the truth on these white people, hold them accountable. You think that's so let me get this straight. You pay $5 because you think that I'm telling the truth on these white people? See, don't try to use me for whatever racial issues you got with white people, because I don't agree with your comment. I never said that Nolan's friends killed him. See, I never said that. That's what you want. That's not what I said. I'm saying how I believe he died, right? So whatever truth you want told about whitey people, you could go do that yourself. I never accused anybody of killing them. I am literally speaking what I believe happened to Nolan. Nolan did not die on the island. He died on a boat. He died on a boat. Everything that is happening revolves around a boat. Everything that's happening with this case, we're seeing boats. They tugged it. They pulled their boat. The boat was sinking. They said they tried to get Nolan to get on the boat. They said they told Nolan, get in the effing boat. It's too much urgency of getting Nolan on that boat. It's almost like, well, we did what we could do to save him, but he didn't want to listen. I don't see none of the friends saying, like, showing emotion like, bro, I try to get bro, man, to get on the boat, fam, but it's like, he didn't listen, man. That's my dog, bro. That's my dog, bro. Somebody killed my dog, bro. I don't see those emotions, fam. I don't see those emotions. A lot of you brothers that live in the hood, when your mans and them died and they got shot or something happened, a lot of you from the hood, you cried. You shed tears for your mans and them because you really had love for your peoples. I don't see none of that on Nolan's friend. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Because he was talking about him too highly. He was talking very highly of Nolan. So in my mind, I'm like, dog, if he was your mans in them, like, you didn't go to the funeral, you ain't shed a tear, you ain't show no emotion, there ain't no love, dog. You lying. I don't believe it. You know? What I'm doing is I'm speaking the truth based on what I see. The things that I'm saying is not putting nobody in no prison cell. I don't know if Nolan was on the boat with his friends or he was on another boat. But what I do know is that he died on a boat, and somebody not saying nothing. That 120,000 is still up there. Somebody know what happened. He died on a boat. That is where it's at, man. There's no other way. I believe he died of some sort of overdose, and nobody killed him. Nobody wanted Nolan to die, but they're in shock, and they don't want to be held liable. Because first of all, where he got the drugs from. If Nolan comes back, if his toxicology tests come back saying he had drugs in his system, if it says he got drugs in his system, now we got to question his friends even more, because that could be the reason why he's not on that boat, or they want him to not be on the boat. The alibi they put out. Oh, he was with the girl. Well, how do we know that? Where's the proof? Where's the proof that Nolan was with the girl? I don't want to hear that the girl said she was with him. Where's the proof that he was with this girl? Where's the proof? Does she got his phone number? If Nolan was with the girl, what time did the girl leave Horn Island? See, these are the questions that we need answered ASAP. What time did that young lady leave? And where was Nolan? So the question is, was she with Nolan or not? That's what y'all got to peep. Did she stay with Nolan the whole time, or did she leave? Why would Nolan stay at the beach by himself with no chick? I could understand if Nolan friends was like, yo, we leaving, and you got your shorty with you, and you about to go back there on the island somewhere and do what you got to do. I could get it. I get it, bro. But if that lady left, why would Nolan stay back? To do what? His buddies left. Time to go. Do you understand? So we need to find out from that woman that he was with. What time did you leave that island? She need to be getting grilled right now. Those answers need to come up out of her. You understand? Because we have multiple scenarios here. If the girl can come out and say, look, I left Horn Island at such and such time, Nolan was doing X, Y, and Z, then that would clear his friends. Any suspicion with the friends. Because now it falls back on her and Nolan now. Because if she like, oh, I got on a boat with Nolan and see? She can't say that because it's going to incriminate her. Do you see my point? Nolan was on a boat, y'all. He was on a boat. She had to come back on a boat, right? So did she get on the boat by herself without Nolan? Make it make sense, man. You know I'm making sense while I'm talking, fam. So she just got up and left the island because she didn't leave with those guys, right? So she had to get in a boat to leave. Okay. What time did she leave and where was Nolan? But anyway, guys, I'm going to get up on out of here, man. I am extremely, extremely tired, bro. Extremely tired. You know, I've been up forever, bro. Let me see. Shout out to Shirley. I think it's Shirley. Shout out to Shirley for the membership. Appreciate you joining. Hope you have a wonderful stay in the comment section with the people. Let me see. Shout out to Shantae. Says, listen to the call. Someone said check his chest. Really? I'm going to check it out later. If I hear that in that video, it's over. If I hear that call and I hear check his chest, then that means he died on the boat. Do you understand? Meaning he was unconscious. He was ODing. And check his chest for what? A pulse. Check his heart. I'm going to check it out later. If I hear that, woo-wee, it's over. I better not find that. It better not be on that tape. It better not be. If I hear check his chest, why would you have to check somebody's chest if the boat is sinking? I don't know, man. Like I said, I ain't accusing these young men of killing Nolan. At the same time, I believe that the kid died by an overdose. He could have been toasted, drunk, and died. You could drink yourself to death, you know. You could drink yourself to death. This is why I don't understand why people get toasted. Fam, it's one thing to be tipsy and a little bit under the influence, but when you get pissy drunk, that's dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous. I don't know why people like doing that stuff, but that's not cool. Except 57 says, the last time Warren saw him was at 3 p.m. So what time did they ask him to get on the boat if they left at 4:30 p.m.? That's right. What time? What time? Because it still most likely was daylight outside. They said he was with a girl. So what time did she leave Horn Island? It's not adding up, man. It's either Nolan was not with no girl and they just made that whole story up, and he was actually on the boat. But because he died on the boat due to an overdose or something happened to him, they just made up the story with the girl, figuring the public would be thrown off by, well, he made a decision. He was with a chick, probably on the island fooling around. But see, that sounds one way. But when you start to factor in, the girl had to come back home. So now it's like, okay, what time did she leave? And why wasn't Nolan with her? If she get on an interview and say, oh, we left at such and such time and Nolan got on the boat with me, this just proved Nolan died on a boat. But I don't think they're going to spin that because right now they want it to just be a mystery. Somebody know what happened to Nolan, guys. You just don't end up dead. And nobody don't know where the hell, like, where do we look? What happened? Well, we don't know. Oh, you know. He was on that boat. He was on that boat, fam. Shantae said, after the lady said, do you need the Coast Guard? Well, so he said it after? Because they denied wanting the Coast Guard, which is kind of crazy. Says Warren, Wyatt, Matt, and Will on the boat. Let me see. Oh, they were on the boat. Okay. I'm going to check out that audio later. Yeah, alcohol and water don't mix. Listen, alcohol and nothing mix. Nothing. You see? That is why you're not supposed to drink and drive. Nothing you mix with alcohol is right. Under no circumstances. You shouldn't be at your 9 to 5 if you drunk, especially if you driving a school bus. You're going to crash. You're going to crash, man. Your vision going to start messing with you, bro. You're going to drive right off a cliff. You said that audio is crazy. We're going to take a look at it later. Later, we're going to go live. We're going to break it down. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in the studio downstairs and whatnot. I mean, I could always do it upstairs too. I got my other microphone set up over here on this side. But I'll just do it downstairs since everything is already wired and set up for me. But I got to get some rest, guys. I've been up forever, man. Whole 6-hour live stream. I did another video outside. I put in my workout. I know the lady that was at the park probably like, who the hell is this guy? We came in at the same exact time. That's crazy. She went walking her dog and whatnot. See me come out like, damn, he early too. I be trying to get to the park before everybody. But it's all right, you know. But anyway, gang, I'll catch you guys later on with more content. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Let's get these likes up. You got literally 600 people in the building, fam. Only 281 likes. We got to do better, fam. Got to do better, man. Hit that like button, man. Let's get these likes to 1,000, bro. I'm on to something here. I'm on to something. And remember, we didn't review all the videos yet. We got to do part 5. And he might have a part 6 today. So if he do, we're going to review part 5 and 6. So I got that I got to do. I got to review the audio. And I got to review other videos that I saw on social media. So I got a lot of work to do, man. A lot. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go fix me something to eat. And I'm going straight and get some rest. For real, man. My eyes are burning right now, bro. Like, for real, man. I probably might just go lay down, bro. Like, right away. But I got to get something to eat. I got to get something to eat, fam. I might have to go mix a protein shake, too. Because I don't like when I work out and I don't have my protein shakes and my breakfast. I got to have that so I can get, the nutrients in the system. But nonetheless, guys, we're going to get up on out of here. It is what it is. Rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Man. Overtime work, man. So I'm going to get that other video that I did this morning out there. You're going to see me wearing the same shirt. So you know what I mean? Because I had wore this when I was outside working out, But, yeah. This is wild. Absolutely wild, bro. And a lot of people thought that while I'm covering this case that I'm not cracking none of the information. I'm not accusing the friends of killing Nolan. I'm saying things looking mighty suspect right now. And when I listen to that audio, I better not hear check his chest. I better not hear that on that audio, man, because I'm telling you, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go wild. And if I have to enhance the audio so I can hear it even better, then everybody's in trouble. So something happened because I heard a glimpse of the audio and it sounded like you had a lot of people in the background, y'all. A lot of people. So it could be a lot of people on that boat and it could have been some mess, man. But if they took Nolan and threw him off the boat to cover all of this up, it's going to eventually come out. It's going to come out. Somebody going to say something, man. Somebody's going to have a conscience. And they're going to come forward and they're going to be like, look, man, this stuff is eating me alive. I can't sleep at night. It happens to some people, man. Some people can't sleep at night. They'll come forward with all the details. But like, look, this is what happened. Officer, this is what happened. I can't sleep. I can't take it no more. I can't. What happened, son? Well, we were drinking. We were on the boat. We had a couple of ladies with us, and we had some drugs. Nolan took a shot, took a hit, and we didn't even realize it, but he was kind of slumped over. We thought he was sleeping, but he wasn't. He was dead. We tried to wake him up. He wouldn't wake up. We was like, check his chest, and there was no beat. So we panicked, and we all decided to just throw his body in the water and just act like, just act like we didn't know anything. We agreed. And I'm just here to share what happened because I can't sleep at night, officer. I can't. Somebody might come out and say that, fam. That would be crazy if that's what it was, man. That would be messed up, bro. That you guys covered this up because you was afraid that you'll get in trouble. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But to cover up your friends, like to cover up the death, if that was the case, then you dudes were never his friends. If this turns out that they covered up the death and try to make it look like normal, that would be so bad. That would be so bad, man. That would make you never trust people. But anyway, y'all, I got to get on out of here, man. Right? I'm going to go get me something to eat, get some rest, come back on, doing what I got to do. So, y'all saying y'all heard it. So, hey, when I review the tapes, you know how I do when I review the tapes. It's going to be something else. So, you don't want to miss that show. So, keep that notification bell set to all. I'll catch you all in the next stream, man. So, peace and blessings to all the members. Shout out to those that just became members today. We appreciate you joining Ringo TV Reactions. We don't take none of your support for granted. I am tired, guys. So I'm going to go get me something to eat and get some rest.